Isn't he sweet? Okay. So, another point I wanted to bring up was something that I've been exploring from different angles. When you get into this area of ascension, maybe finding out you're a starseed, maybe that resonates with you. You know, nobody can tell you that for sure. You have to know it in here. You have to make that decision of, yep, that name fits me, I feel comfortable with it, it feels like it's me, it feels like it describes my experience. So you'll often come across a lot of information that has been channeled. Now, I for one have always felt a little bit hesitant about channeled information, and it was right to do so, because as somebody I was listening to the other day was saying, all channeled information goes through the filter of the human being and your experiences and your programming and your expectations. We are filters. Our perception takes in everything as a whole, but then we only understand a portion of it, or we have a very biased view about what we've received. Maybe we can only digest a certain portion of what we've actually heard or read. So always go with your gut feeling, your inner compass, because, and the more you exercise that, the truer it becomes. Personally, for me, that compass is like, if something is positive and true, I will get a light, uplifting feeling. And if it's not, or if it's a bit mucky, somewhere in between, I'll get an unsettled feeling. And if it's downright no, I will get a heavy, sinking feeling. But we're all different, so you need to practice with your inner compass. Start with something simple, like asking a very obvious question you know the very obvious answer to. Is my name? And then say your actual name. And you should get a very clear yes. It's a bit like dowsing, but it's doing it on the inside without any props. So using this inner compass, I have been feeling a little bit in that mucky, not quite sure what's going on zone about the subject of the Ashtar command. I would love to believe all of the wonderful stuff that is being said. I am very aware, however, that this information is coming through a channeled source. And personally, I feel a lot more comfortable and clearer about receiving information from, for instance, very specific instance, Cosmic Agency, Gosha, and her colleagues Robert and Renier, and there's another person, Sael, as well, who have been contacted by Targetan Pleiadians, but through writing. So what they've done is these Pleiadians have actually had to step down their energy, and they've used our internet because that makes perfect sense. We've got that ability now to interact. And yes, there's lots of people who could argue, oh, it could be anybody at the other end of the keyboard. Well, yes, it could. But listen to what's being said and make your own mind up. Feel. Don't just go from here. Feel what's being said and make your own heart up. Nobody ever says that. Maybe we should make that into a saying. Make your own heart up. So for me, that feels truer, cleaner, if you like. That information that's come from Svaru and Annika and Rochelle, etc., than information which has come through a channeled source who are receiving information into their mind and their heart and their expressing that information out in written form or speaking it or whatever, that we know can be interfered with. That's the other thing. It's it's a little bit dodgy. You've got this line that can be hacked quite easily, apparently. So you have to be careful, and you have to be discerning. Nobody can really tell you for sure, what to believe. You have to make these decisions yourself. You have to make these choices based on your experience, your level of evolution is the wrong word. Your frequency, I suppose. Because the higher and clearer your frequency is, I think the clearer the information will come through, the less it has to filter through, and the more easily you will understand, more clearly understand the genuine information from the messed with information. And that's something I have a hard time with. I mean, I'm autistic for a start, so I'm very much, I like things to be very clear cut. It's this or that. I'm having to learn how to navigate that grey bit in between. And I do not like it when something is unclear. So I've been chasing this whole Ashtar thing. So I asked Gosha if Swaru had brought this up, and she responded. I'll try and put a link in there to the actual video where I commented so that you can scroll down and see it. I've also had point of view from various other people. At the end of the day, though, my thinking is that even if Swaru has mentioned that she hadn't heard of any Ashtar, okay, think how many star people there are supposed to be. Our galactic family are supposed to be gathered around us at the moment because we're at the cusp of this huge event, and they've all come to see and help. And there must be innumerable individuals out there and collectives. So, if one hasn't heard of the other, it's understandable. Maybe we know that they will often be observing what we're sharing between us. So, they'll look at our internet. They'll look at what we're posting. Even now, I've got this little voice in the back of my head saying, "This is a little bit. I don't know. That sounds a bit crazy, maybe, but it still feels like it could be true. Therefore, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, I believe this is what is happening. Because why not? If you want to look into the whole Matrix idea, please go to Cosmic Agency, because she has so much information and will explain things in a very, very clear fashion. So, whether Ashtar is real or not is debatable, but it could be that this being the information coming from, supposedly from Ashtar, is all very, very positive and uplifting, which is wonderful. I mean, anything which helps us to feel this high vibration is great. Bring it on, please. However, I would like a note of caution here. If there is a possibility of anything messing with this information, or even encouraging it to making this garden of beautiful flowers grow, to use a metaphor, what's going to happen if suddenly the garden goes away? What's going to happen if they chop all the flowers down and say, that's not real? How many people are then have got to this really high energy feeling, who would then be completely let down, just be careful. I just want to say to people, please be careful, just in case that ever happens. I don't know, I feel very strongly to put this warning out, just to say basically, you know, if somebody's been waving, been offering this hope and then has deliberately offered the hope in order to take it away, you need to be ready just in case that happens. You need to be able to hold your energy high. If you climb the ladder, you need to be able to stay there if somebody kicks the ladder away. Okay, that's all I feel like I need to say about that. Anyway. So look after yourselves. If you've felt like you're going through a massive clearing, like I feel like I am right now, if the recent energies have had a big effect on you, please take care of yourselves. Make sure you rest. Rest. You are a priority. You are a priority right now. You always need to look after yourself before you're able to look after anybody else. Okay? Remember that, please. So, drink plenty of water. I once went to a practitioner and I said, well, I'll drink water. I like water, good fresh water. I've got some shungite at the moment, which purifies water nicely, but I've only got so much of it and I can only filter so much before I run out. And then what do I drink? I do like my tea. I do like cups of tea. So, you know, herbal's good as well. But this practitioner said, well, drink fluids, and if it's in a cup and it wobbles, that's fine. Yeah, no alcohol. Just try and avoid caffeine as well, I think. That's always good. I think all things in moderation, you know, I have a little bit of caffeinated cup of tea in the morning just to help me wake up. But then I try and avoid it through the day if I can. What else do I need to say? Well, lots of love, and keep on envisaging your best self, your most wonderful outcome, how the world would look if you could make it the way that you would like to see it. That helps everybody living on this planet. If everybody had the healthcare that they needed, the pure water they needed, the power they needed, there was an abundance of everything. And if they associated the word money with abundance, how would that be? Instead of all the fear that we've had around it. How good would that be? And you know, even one day we might grow out of the need for money altogether, because we could understand that we can create the abundance. We have plenty to share. We can always help each other out. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.